here. Uh, First off, start with please like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon when I'm putting up next vid. And just so you know, guys, I did. Uh, I was looking into a video right earlier today. I mean, it was like literally about a minute ago or so. And mind you, I've seen videos just like it. And it basically was describing the mechanics of a quote unquote golden child, right? Where a family has more than one person, in their lives, and they basically, the parents choose one to basically favor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, which is weird because like I've seen jokes about the fact that kids, families with more than one kid, like two or three kids, and there's always the middle child gets the bottom rung, right? Well, it's weird because I've never felt that. I am the middle child of my family, ladies and gentlemen. I got an older brother. He's in construction, and my younger sister. Um, I don't think she's graduated or anything, but she's probably on that verge. Mind you, she's a younger sister by about a little over 10 years. Yes, folks, there's a big gap. Because my brother and me have only a 5-year gap. My sister and me have over a 10-year gap. And honestly, it's a weird dynamic. People say, well, it's like, well, then that means you grew up with this. She grew up with you. I'm like, yeah, she basically did. She grew up with basically all of us loving her, babying her, everything, right? A lot of people don't understand how different that mechanic is, or that, yeah. Because think about it this way: I lived my entire life without anything else, anything more than a big brother that I barely recognized. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not that we didn't hate it's not that we hated each other or anything. It's just we had difference of opinions on most things. Don't get me wrong. We reconciled and we got to the point where we do love each other. We care for each other as much as we possibly can, despite our distance. And I'm not talking about emotional distance. We we've been there for each other. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for checking my video. Please like and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel. Anyway, so the best part about my life, and yes, folks, I'm putting it. This is basically my experience in basically my family never had favorites. We never had hated parts of the family. No, we loved each other equally. My mom was never the I favor you over anyone else. No, she sees all her kids as exactly what it is. It's her kids. She loves us. She shows us as much love as she does. In fact, she enjoys the idea of all of us being in the same room with love and happiness. Me too, by the way. I love it because it shows that it's the family dynamic I rarely get to feel or see. Because my family, let's just say, it's not the fact that we're against being in each other's arms or anything like that. It's just we grew up not exactly the warm and fuzzy kind, despite us loving each other as much as we do. We see. Let me try to explain this. It's really difficult because if you guys don't know the mechanics of certain structures of certain families, it's really difficult to understand and make you understand. But growing up, I never really grew up with my brother. I grew up in America. My brother grew up with our grandparents to the point where he grew up and he came over here. He basically, in a way, he basically matured himself, mind you, with a little help with our grandparents and occasional visits from us, because we're not complete monsters. We went to go in Mexico because we had family over there, right? Yes, folks, I'm Mexican. Thank you very much. If you guys are wondering, I do speak Spanish. So I don't. I'm. This is just. I'm basically giving you guys a gist of my life. So the biggest thing about most people don't understand is, again, we, me and my sister were the only ones that grew up together. Because my brother, he was never really with us. It's not the fact that he didn't love us. He loves us. I know he does. It just doesn't always. He was raised by someone from the past two generations, and I do mean two generations because, again, he was raised by our grandparents, and those mentalities generally attached to him. And mind you, mentalities I'm talking about is he was very close-minded at times. In fact, he was very close to our grandpa, which is understandable because, again, our grandpa was his father figure. I mean, I loved him personally, but I had a little less time than anyone. I mean, by the time my sister was born, my grandpa was dead. I'd say 20 years. So yeah, no, that's not true. By the time my sister was born, because she was born when I was about 17, and my grandfather died when I was about 11, roughly 10 or 11 years old. So right now it's 20 years, but by the time my sister was born, he would have been dead almost 6 or 7 years. So yeah, she never met our grandpa. We told stories about him. I only told stories that I remember because, again, I remember vague things when I was a kid, and then some of the final ones that, when he started growing up, when I started growing up, it was difficult because we couldn't always go to Mexico, where we had to. But anyway, enough of that. So basically, the reason I'm bringing up any of this is because I saw some of these stories about kids being the middle child, or just basically the non-favorite. And honestly, I could never imagine doing that to a child. Mind you, if I had kids and I had like 2 or 3 kids, cool. But I would never treat them any different than I would treat. I would love them. I'd make a compromise if I couldn't do both, but I would never actually favor either one of them. I would say, okay, so we did yours last time, and now it's your turn, because it's only fair, because we want to make sure that both of you kids understand that we love each other. We love you both. We can't always do both at the same time, which is understandable, and frankly kind of my fault for having 2 kids at the same time. But since you're here, I don't want to tell you guys that neither one of you are my favorite, because you're not. Because both of you are my favorite. Come here. That would be my mentality. Because I would love my kids equally if I had kids. I don't. Yeah, folks, you're looking at me and it's like, well, that makes sense. I beat you to it, so don't go there. All you trolls out there, I'm beating you to the punch. Anyway, and if you guys haven't already, do me a ginormous favor. Please like and subscribe. It definitely helps the channel. And of course, hit that bell icon to know when I'm putting out next vid, because I love doing videos out and about, because I feel like I'm starting to get something out of it. Maybe some basically a little therapy on my part. Sometimes I talked about random stuff that I feel like I should be getting on my chest, things like that. and I'm glad my people out there are very receptive for the most part. I'd say about 80% of you guys are very perceptive and receptive. Thank you very much for that. But anyway, that's just me. I never enjoyed the stories, and I love the stories where the neglected one becomes the either the vanquisher of the family that treats him like garbage. I've heard horrifying stories where basically the kid um, basically is treated like garbage or like Cinderella kind of thing, and later in life he is the most accomplished. He or she either is, you know, basically, and the worst of the stories is where the whole family either gets denounced or whatever, or I think my favorite one is basically where the family gets their just desserts for how much treated have they been treated, the main character, the teller of the story, the OP, right? And honestly, between you and me, you know what they say, it's you reap what you sow. Like if you're expecting good, if you're expecting good to come out of something, like someone treating you like garbage or someone treating like complete and utter dog shit, don't expect any princess treatment, because yeah, you're gonna get it right now, but sooner or later in the future, hopefully sooner than later, you're gonna get what is coming to you. Because, well, let me ask you this: how would you feel if you specifically were in that position where you were in a family where your mother and father basically treated you like you didn't exist, and your sibling, elder or younger, doesn't matter, basically treated you like a punching bag, right? Stealing from you. Every time they broke something, you got the punishment. It's like, well, excuses like, well, you should have been doing better to keep her out of it, or it's like, we believe that it's you it sounds like you would be doing this, not her or them, you know. How would you feel that it was your entire life? You feel like your voice would matter, right? Mind you, I love these stories because a lot of them, most of them, have that redeeming quality, that the character has something about them that, the everybody else just, shoos away. It's like, oh, you're not gonna get anything out of this. You're complete garbage. It's like you're a garbage person. You don't deserve to live. You should just, jump off a building or something. And trust me, I've heard stories like that, and it is sad as hell. And the worst part is, a lot of these stories, I don't know if they're true, and I hope not, because holy crap. And unfortunately, I've actually heard stories about people that treat each other like this, not only from online stories, but stories from a few friends of mine that have had situations similar to this. And it actually makes me cry every time. Because why would you treat your child like complete and utter dog shit? If you don't want your child, just put them in an orphanage. And it's a lot. I feel they would be treated better in an orphanage than in an abusive household. Here's another good example. I was listening to a story yesterday, and mind you, this story was just bad. It was two stories, actually. It was about a story about a gang of bikers, and before you ask, yes, they were the amazing kind of bikers that basically provided hugs and snuggles to little kids, and basically community awareness. Those are the kind of bikers that I have respect for, because they use they use mob justice in the right, correct, legal way. And yes, folks, there is an actual legal way to do this. And these people were just amazing. They basically use their mass network for the people. They basically use what it was used for justice, for to protect a family, and I'll explain that in a little bit because the bus is coming up, and I don't want to get too animated yet, but I will be doing it. I promise. The story, both stories are basically the same. Um, I'll put it in the back.
Downtown Broad West to Mesa Riverview.
Howdy. Anyway, so the stories go that both stories. So the first one is about a little girl coming up to these bikers, just I don't know because he some at a Denny's kind of place, you know, and they're talking, and this adorable lady, I said it was a 9-year-old little girl coming up and said, "Hey, something's going on outside my they found him. He found us. Can you help us? He's beating up my mom." And mind you, between you and me, I'm like, listen, the story is like, if you don't go alien on these motherfuckers, no, they didn't go alien, but they went Super Saiyans. These guys just said, they looked at the little girl and, you know, worried and everything. They stood up and said, "Say no more. Take us to the issue." They went. They saw the guy, you know, basically hammering on this poor lady, and they basically grabbed him and threw him off like a freaking rag doll, which is weird because according to the story, the guy was built like a brick, you know, built massive, you know, like a brick house, I should say. Like, these guys, yeah, don't mess with bikers, folks. Don't mess with them. Between me though, they get a really bad rap. They really do. A lot of people just see the leather and, you know, they see the motorcycles and they see the automatically see gangsters or whatever. I mean, yeah, there's such a thing, but I'm pretty sure nowadays they're nice couple of nice bunch of folks just minding their own business. Some of them are like Vietnam vets or vets in general, and I'm like, some of these stories, I'm pretty sure you can hear some of those stories and you're thinking to yourself, damn, no wonder bikers get a really bad rap. Not from them specific, but just things that they've heard, seen on the road, you know? And between you and me, if I ever wanted to get into a fight, I had to ask my biker to get on my side and hold me around. At first, just strapped. I would have never go against these guys. So the guy, the brick house guy, the abuser, he starts saying, "This is your problem. This is your problem." Apparently, one of the guys, I don't know, I think it's called Bear or something. Basically looks at me and goes, "It is now. Now get the step." Send me over. He basically looks at him and goes, "It better be. It effing better be." And it cracked me up every time. I was like, damn. This guy pulled an aura moment. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you think. Anyway, so the whole story basically is this guy was, I think he was like a lieutenant in his biker jet gang. Mind you, this biker gang were the nicest people out there because apparently they did everything they could to take care of these families. They basically said, it's like keep him away and keep her safe. Get her to a hospital because apparently she had a lot of injuries. Obviously, because this guy was basically wailing on her, which is messed up. Honestly, between you and me, I would have decked it myself. But anyway, so they did everything right. Honestly, from what they were explaining, they did everything correct. They basically told him to back off. They got her to the hospital. They got the little girl taken care of as well. And they spent they said 6 months taking care of this whole ordeal. Mind you, that is dedication of these gents. They got round the clock care because this jerk apparently doesn't know the meaning of the word stay away. And that was just the first story. Long story short, guys, I'm not going to go into the actual full story, but this guy, again, did not know the meaning of the word stay away. And he pushed his luck, and he got to the point where he had to get laid out to finally get the point. But even then, he was like, I have to, she belongs to me, she left her over. That kind of obsession, right? These guys are just like, you know what? No, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. And sure enough, he tries something. Not only did he fail, because he was basically trying to. First thing he tried to do was basically grab a lighter. Basically, he tried to do a little arson murder thing. Basically, tried to do that feeling of if I can't have you, no one can. Yeah, the whole obsession. He got caught. One of the bikers basically told him, he's like, if you don't drop that right now, you will be dropped. And believe me, none of us have any issues doing it. Between you and me, neither would I. Would I be successful? Probably not. But I'd still try it because, wow, just no. Especially when you're going after a kid. It's one thing for the mom, because mom obviously needs to be protected, but the little girl, for fuck's sake, dude. It's like, don't involve women and children. That's just not cool. Hold on one second, guys. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, basically to finish off the story, the guy got cuffed. He got prisoned for like 15 years. By the time it got emotional by the end of it, because the little girl went to her she went to high school and everything. Hell, dude, the biker stayed in her life the entire time. I told you in the beginning of the story, the little girl was about 9 years old. Now she's in high school. She's valedictorian, whatever. I'm like, dude, that is dedication. That is pure grit. And the fact that they became like a lifelong friends at this point, like, honestly. And the second story was just as emotional. Same concept. This guy is basically an abusing asshole. He mind you, here's the problem. It involved 2 kids. Yes, folks, 2 kids. One was about, I think, 6 or 7. No, they said about 7 or 8 years old. And then there was an infant. Like, she was no older than 6 months. Yeah, folks. This guy apparently abused both of them just to get his rocks off. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not a human anymore. That is a piece of garbage, and I actually feel sorry for calling the garbage garbage, because there are garbage that can be useful. This complete and utter waste of space is nowhere near any kind of useful. So yeah. Anyway, the last part of the story. So again, the whole "if I can't have you, nobody can" kind of a session. It got to the point where the mom finally gets. So this little girl goes up to these bikers, and say, "Hey, I want you to protect my little sister. I don't care what happens to me, but protect her, please." And frankly, this guy, this absolute tank. Apparently, this guy, I think he was Tank or something. Let's just call him Tank, because yeah, like you imagine any kind of biker that doesn't have a tough ass fucking name. So yeah, Tank. He basically looks down and sees this little girl asking for help for her little sister, and Tank, being the absolute unit he is, he kneels down, looks at her, and says, "You know what? You just hired the A-team," kind of thing. You know, it had the way. He didn't say it that way, but it was basically that was what was going on. You just hired the A-team. You got this. We got this. And literally, basically went to go see the kid, and saw that apparently took the little baby, despite having issues with the assholes. It's like, "You can't take these kids." It's like, "We're taking them, and we are not gonna get any kind of interference from you. Am I correct?" He looks at him. The fucker was a coward. He shrinks. I'm like, yeah, first of all, you have no right to stand up after being this kind of man. And I don't want to use the man card for this, again, waste of space. That's literally the best way I can explain someone, because if I use any other nomenclature, I would actually feel sorry for the nomenclature that is being compared to. So he's just a waste of space. That poor space being wasted on that. Because I don't have any kind of feelings for people, and I do use the word people, very useful for people that abuse the little children, women, the sick, the elderly. I don't have any kind of respect for anybody that hurts or abuses them in any way. Because why would you? And if you do, if you have any kind of, well, he had a mental, dude, still no excuse. Yes, if he had mental problems, he could have easily tried to get some help. Either he was not willing to get the help, he was prevented, which is sucky, but then again, that technically means that he would be a victim, turning into an abuser, which, again, it's a really bad cycle. Anyway, so long story short, the story goes on, same concept as the first. The guy is basically obsessive. He just wants to control the situation. He basically telling everybody these kids are lying. Even it got to the point where they got to the mom, and the mom at first, and yes folks, at first basically says, "Well, he's with them all the time, and I'm always working, and he's always taking care of them." It's like, really? Do you want to know what is going on? That jerk off is hurting the kids. There are documented proof that even the baby is being hurt. Why would you hurt a baby? To get your rocks off? And the little kid, she has bruising months old. And you're okay with this? apparently the mom just, it's like, he I can't believe. And then she starts doing the whole, I can't believe what kind of mom I am. And I'm like, yeah, honestly, you deserve that feeling. I don't feel any kind of remorse. The only time I would feel any kind of remorse if you fixed your issue. Because he basically comes up says, and with no remorse in his voice, he goes, well, you got a choice, ma'am. Either him or them. And honestly, I don't really think he was giving her the choice. The only choice really was either you stay out of their lives or you fix the issue. That was the only choice that he was really giving her. He was just being nice. I honestly think he could have said it exactly what I said. Either you fix the issue or you stay out of their lives. Apparently she had enough motherly love for those kids to say, we're leaving. We're leaving. I can't be with this guy anymore because, too much evidence. Mind you, she didn't say it the way I said it. She said it more of a, it was like she finally realized her actual impotence at being a parent. And mind you, I guess that's stage 1, which is great, because I'm like, oh, okay, so well, at least you have enough brains in your skull to realize you effed up. So, I mean, that's 1. And if you haven't already, guys, please like and subscribe. So yeah, finish off the story. The guy got arrested because he did a few things, and the problem was, according to the story, and mind you, this is true. I feel like this is what's wrong with our society now, is our correctional degrees. Again. What are you, baby Sinclair? Again. Anyway, and they made a reference to the fact that justice is a slow process. And I honestly think it's not just slow, it is morbidly, laughably broken. Because it's gotten to the point where we've made so many laws, so many excuses saying, well, it'll get better, when it takes forever and a half, and it takes a substantial amount of money just to get a decent ruling. And I don't mean bribing the fucking judge, because if you do that, then that's one of the biggest reasons why our justice system is failing, is because so many people try to use the old bribe the judge routine. Ladies and gentlemen, and mind you, I get it. There is laws against it, obviously. But prosecution is the part that, the way I see it, is how we structured our actual system and how it is abused is the issue. Yes, folks, it is abused maliciously. It is the worst type of situation in the world. It is when your own system is working against you, not with you. It got to the point where our own citizens have no either respect or faith in our actual system. And me, I have a combination of both. I have no respect for it because, look, don't get me wrong. When I say I don't have respect for it, so I don't really think that it's working, is what I'm trying to say. And that people say, well, this is disrespect. I'm like, okay, so how many times has the system fucked me over? And before you ask, no, I have not gotten in trouble. Thank the gods on high on that. But I've gotten close. The only reason I have not gotten in trouble is because I've never really done anything to this day that actually warrants anything too big. Mind you, I've gotten in trouble one or two times, but it never went as far as, to call the cops, and I'm thankful for that. But it had nothing to do with the system. It had to do with actual kindness of you know, the powers be. Like, for instance, I'm not gonna really say it because that's on cue. But point is, I never gotten in too much trouble because I've never had to do anything that I wanted to get in trouble for. I'm not gonna go any further than that because if you ask, I will not tell you. Sorry. I'm too ashamed of it, is what I'm trying to tell you. So it happened. So now, to answer your question, yes, I don't feel comfortable with our current system is because, think about it this way. Going down to certain streets in your town, I'm pretty sure there are cops, and mind you, it's not just cops, just in general, there are people out there that are very judgmental, determining. Oh, well, there are what I call Karens, or what Kevins. They are very judgmental people. They think to themselves, you know what, I can get this guy in trouble for an imagined slight. And there are cops that way. I don't know if there's any cops in my particular precinct. I hope not. I'm talking about like my immediate area. I hope not. So far, I've only met cops that I can, fist bump or whatever, right? I've never had cops that I personally felt that were slighted me. Thank the gods on high for that, because I have never done anything that has warrant them to talk to me in a matter that I'm in trouble. Never have done it. Thank you. Thank the gods I haven't. Anyway, so like I said, the story basically ends most endearing situation, the cutest thing in the world, and I think it's cute because this little girl basically starts drawing, and it puts it's basically 13 little stick figures around a family, basically the mom, little baby, and her, and another drawing of a picture of the same guy basically being carried away by a superhero, which is basically in leather. And it cracked me up. I'm like, oh my god, that is adorable. And the little girl gives these pictures to the big guy, Tank, right? Remember Tank, the big guy? And I'm like, oh my god. And he said the sweetest, most masculine thing I've ever heard in my life. He goes, this is going on in the fridge, little one, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, that looks about right. I'm like, I would do the same. I exactly would do the same. I put that on my fridge too. Hell yeah. So what's this? Oh, little girl drew it for me. Cute as a pea. I'm telling you, if that happened to me, my heart would, like, it would be adorable. It would just be way too cute. Like, you cannot tell me that wouldn't be anywhere near adorable because of how amazing that would feel for someone so small and so mighty to actually feel the gratitude. Mind you, the entire time is basically the entire time of this story, this part of the story is basically where the justice seems very, very fleeting. Mind you, the problem a lot of these times is, depending on, and the way I see it is, a lot of these judges try to be lenient about a certain, look, don't get me wrong, the problem is I have one biggest issue. I have a criteria. If the guy has no remorse, has absolutely no remorse, and you could tell these people, I mean, good gods on high, they can't fake it to save their lives, literally. If they don't seem any kind of remorse and they try to make excuses left, right, and center, there's a demeanor guys. There is a demeanor. If they don't have a certain demeanor, that if they are sorry, they wish to, make amends, things like that. If they don't have any of that, I don't feel any kind of sympathy for those snooks. If they don't have that kind of mentality or that kind of feeling going into these processes, don't give them leniency, ladies and gents. Don't give them bail. It's like, why won't you give me bail? Well, you did what you did, and you don't feel sorry for it, do you? It's like, well, because I didn't do anything wrong. And that right there is why you have not. That was your last chance to get some bail. But now, I'm not giving you any kind of bail. You're staying in and waiting for arraignment. Enjoy that. Bam. That would be me. That would be full on me. Anyway, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. This is your friendly neighborhood gamer, Djinn, signing off.